And welcome to SA People, with one people sitting in a very wet and cold Johannesburg, and the other people, what are you sitting in, Jenny Baxter?
I think I'm in the same kind of drizzly blah.
It's amazing
But
how
I'm in on team.
I think our English roots come to us every now and then. We end up talking about the weather, but it is something that everybody talks about because, especially when it's inclement weather, like we've been having in Johannesburg, it's a big talking point. And I think it takes our mind off the fact that, load shedding, 11 hours out of every 24, most places around the country. I don't think Cape Townians get it as badly, which is why they don't understand why Joburg people can't get anything done. And of course,
But
you
you
know
know
what's
what?
going on with
Hey,
government.
well, you know that the ministers also don't get load shedding, and it appears that Ted Buerta, who you've had on the show before, and who's a South African writer and SA People writer, he doesn't get load shedding, and he doesn't know why. So he's not
Does
going
he
to
live
tell
near a
anybody.
minister?
Well, I mean, he's told me, but he's not going to tell anybody where he lives. That's what I'm wondering. He's in Cape Town with a stunning view of Table Mountain.
I remember my
And
brother never
no
got load shedding because he lived next door to a minister.
Oh, cool.
But let's not think about that. There's nothing we can do about it. And I know everybody's getting really gutful and literally gutful. I swear to God, we must just start a whole new site called gutful.com. I
Hey,
think
did you see the video of the guy showing how he switches off the lights for load shedding?
no.
Dung, 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 dung. I'll put it up today so you can
Okay,
see.
fantastic. I look forward to seeing that. But by the way, on social media, what's been amusing me no end is on Facebook with, they always have those things. If there's a severe weather event in the world somewhere, you can mark yourself safe from like Hurricane Katrina or whatever. And the amount of people I know who have been marking themselves safe from flooding in Johannesburg, when some of them are my next door neighbors, and then one of them is a friend of mine who has now located himself in Cape Town. So he's definitely safe from flooding in Johannesburg, okay? But I'm like sitting there and thinking, unless the Spruit in Parkhurst actually breaks its banks, I think that most of us who have been most of them have been marking themselves safe, are nowhere near any dangerous plants unless they're going to go walking down by the river. I
I
find it very
know.
amusing.
Yeah, some people have sent us the link so that we can share it as well. And I was like, really? People are. Although, shame, there was a policeman who did sadly pass away.
Yeah, no, and I mean, we're not sort of demeaning or putting down
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
making light of the fact that there have been a lot of people. I'm talking about the people who live like
In
in
the safe area.
Bryanston or Sandton who aren't anywhere
Yeah.
near a river, but they're marking themselves safe from flooding. Please
And,
don't do
and,
it, guys. It's
and
like,
I know it belittles the real tragedies. Um, and talking about parts of Johannesburg, you know that jacaranda photo that I sent you, and
yes.
and
Where is it?
I sent it to Ted as well. I sent it to so many people saying, "Where is this?" And none of us recognized it. To me, it looked more like Australia, and Adelaide has thousands of jacaranda trees. So I was on Google Earth trying to find that exact same street with that crazy little greenhouse and everything. And finally, the photographer got back to me. South African guy, Montgomery Park.
No, really. I'm going to have to go and
Yeah.
source it.
So
Okay.
the next time it's jacaranda season next year, it looks like Montgomery Park is a beautiful place that we don't normally think of to go and get photos.
Do you know where it is, Jenny?
Yes, it's
Okay.
near to.
Yeah, it's near
it's
the
like
it's near the dead center of town, the graveyard.
yeah,
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 near
the
Albert
cemetery. Sorry,
Farm and
yes,
and and behind
Greymont.
Northcliffe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well
I just had to
done.
look. But I had to look it up on the map. But still,
Okay,
I
so
wrote.
I think we'll skip over everything to do with politics because it just like gives me a sour taste in my mouth, and I've just had a sweetie, so I don't want to mess that up. So, what news have you got for expats at the moment?
A really proudly South African moment, which is that, the new Avatar is coming out this week. Let me just check. It's called Avatar: The Way of Water.
Okay.
And I mean, everybody's waiting for it around the world. I think it starts here on Thursday, in South Africa on Friday. And the Disney World in Tokyo has created this special drink to celebrate the launch of Avatar, and the drink is inspired by the signature drink that they drink in the movie, which captures Pandora. And so it's the best of nature, of those forests, the ocean. It's the best of the best planet in the world. And that doesn't really exist. And they've chosen, just in case, they've chosen Rooibos jelly as one of the main ingredients. Isn't that fantastic? So people who go to Tokyo Disney Resort will be able to drink this special Avatar drink, and it is basically, I do have the recipe here, it's Rooibos jelly, elderflower, and passion fruit syrups with cacao, blah, 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 sprinkled on top.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, and Rooibos says, they said, because Rooibos only grows in the Cedarburg. And they said the fact that Rooibos was chosen as one of the special ingredients to celebrate the magnificence of such a beautiful planet is an honor. And it is.
Well, that is actually really cool. I like that. I think that's good.
They should do it in South Africa as well.
It's funny,
Like
I can't drink ordinary tea anymore. I only drink Rooibos these days, and I never used to drink Rooibos at all. It's become quite a nice thing for a sore throat. There we go. A little bit of Rooibos and some fabulous honey. I know. Look, it's this time of the year. I mean, the amount of people and flus and things. So anybody in Johannesburg, please just take it easy. If you're sick, don't go out. Try and remember those rules that we put into place during the lockdown, the pandemic and all of that, because, if you're sick, you don't want to be sharing, because that's not caring. All right, and what else have you got that's good news for South Africans?
Now, when you talk about the honey, do you guys buy Manuka honey from New Zealand? Like, is that a big thing in South Africa?
I know it is available, and I actually saw it online 2 days ago, surprisingly enough. But no, there's enough honey producers here in South Africa. I actually get mine from a home grower. She has her own hives in her garden, so I get honey from her.
Fantastic, because I mean, we have honey here. We have festivals for honey, and yet someone in New Zealand has just done some great marketing that, normal honey will cost, €3, whatever, whereas Manuka is costing like 25 to 30 euros. And people
I'm not surprised.
I think somebody in South Africa should create a similar, like Rooibos, but create a special honey brand.
I think we do have them here. We've got the fynbos honey as well, and blueberry. But let's not get into the various honeys, because I know that we'd have to start growing Manuka trees to be able to get the same thing that they have done in the Antipodean places, All right, so what is this now? Staying over on the eastern side of the world, what's this about the 10 things I loved about Taiwan?
It's really interesting. Jeff Nyoka, who we have spoken about before, he's just this amazing guy at Johannesburg Libraries, who's just constantly inspiring old people, children, everybody to read. And he keeps getting nominated for awards or to go to conferences around the world. And he has one of those open minds where he just loves traveling. So he went to Uganda a couple of months ago, was fascinated. Now he's just been to Taiwan for a library convention. And I think he was the only library in Africa who was invited. And he's written this brilliant list of 10 things I loved about Taiwan. And it's really fascinating and funny, and I think there's a reminder there as well, just how lovely it is when fathers take a lot of interest in a family. When they don't just leave the parenting to the mum, and it's something that he kind of noticed in Taiwan compared to what he's used to in South Africa.
Okay, and just on that, just to remind dads over the festive season, okay, don't sit there and say, well, I've been babysitting the children all day. You haven't been babysitting, you've been parenting. Okay, so what news have you got?
Talking to the wrong person.
Both of us, okay? Okay, so what news have you got from expats? I mean, there must be some Saffers who are doing some great stuff around the world.
Oh, in Australia, they have been so proud. There are South Africans who've been breaking records, and I just want to do a shout out to Matt Sates, who you and I have discussed many times. Remember last year he just won all those awards as a junior champion, and this week he's just won his first world champion title for the individual medley, it's currently all happening in Melbourne, Australia. So that's why all the South Africans in Australia have been sending us all this news, and he's just like over the moon because he's had a bit of a tough year, after all the awards last year. It's been tough, and now he's there. So
he's back in it again, right?
Yeah, and Chad's also in Australia at the moment, so we'll be watching him to see how he does, because he also seems to have turned things around.
Oh, good. Our South African swimmers doing us proud again. Oh, by the way, have you seen the SA Drakensberg Boys Choir latest thing, the little video that they've put up?
I did. I posted it. I mean, isn't it beautiful?
And it was so lovely going to see them. When was it, last year that I went?
And it
was it this year?
It already feels like last year.
I'm like sitting here and thinking, how are we in December? What happened?
I know, it's crazy. I keep talking about 2023 as if we've just lived it. So I'm ready for 2024. But yeah, that's another one that's just been so great because we shared it that, we have this lovely teacher, the English teacher there, who's now leaving, broken-hearted. She's leaving to come back to Johannesburg. But she's always shared things with us sort of ahead of everyone else. So we shared this little drummer boy. And the thing that I've loved is seeing the comments from people who aren't South African saying, oh, wow, these South Africans really know how to produce music. This is the best version they've ever seen. It reminds them of Jerusalem in terms of just bringing a good vibe to the world, So, yeah, it's another very proudly SA moment.
Something we could all do with a little bit of joy. Yeah. Okay. So, local good news. What have you got that people have sent to you that you can put up on the site and that people can see on the site?
Some amazing photos of just the heroes who were rescuing people during those floods, because it could have been a lot worse in certain areas far away from where Melanie lives. So everybody came together, from the police to neighbors, emergency services, and then we've got a really funny story, thank goodness, of a porcupine attack, which is such a South African story. So it's actually a friend of mine, Gavin Dixon, who has Shlushlui, it's a game reserve, I forget its name now, River Lodge or something, Shlushlui River Lodge. Anyway, he was cycling late at night, and this porcupine came from under the fence. So he slammed on brakes, went over his handles, landed kind of tangled up with the porcupine and his bike. And another porcupine came out of the bush to defend his mate.
Oh,
really sweet. So he said, at the same time that these porcupines were like pelting his helmet with their quills, and he got them in his feet and all over. At the same time that was all happening, he was thinking, oh, this is really sweet, to bandy together. And then he's in the dark, in the middle of nowhere kind of thing, and two cars come towards him. He sees the car lights, and you won't believe it. This is the really only in South Africa moment. In one car is a doctor, and in the other car is a plastic surgeon. So, and they had their stuff with them.
They're doing the plastic surgery tour. Yeah, there we go. Fantastic. I remember the first time, I've only seen a porcupine once in my life. At Mabula Game Lodge a couple of years ago, and I'd never seen, and I kept on hearing this noise at night when we were sleeping. It was like this weird rustling noise, and it was only the following night when we had a braai going, and this thing came running through the house, and I never realized how big they were. Yeah. My goodness, this thing was like up to my hip, and it was just like we were just putting fruit down for it to try and get it out of the house.
No. Are you exaggerating up to your hip?
No, I'm being dead serious. That's how big it was. With its quills up in the, it was up to my hip height. It was ridiculous. I was like, what? I thought they were little, funny little creatures, but no, they're quite big.
You know, in Australia, we used to hear whoosh, 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 and turn around and there would be some huge, I forget what we call them. It's like a leguaan, but it's huge.
Like a monitor lizard leguaan type thing.
But
Yeah.
it's bigger than a dining room table. Like it's shorter than a dining room table, but big like a dining room table. It's big. And
A 6-seater or an 8-seater, Jenny?
So I don't know why I said a dining room table.
I know, it's a very strange kind of, like half the size of a car, maybe.
No, okay, so they were big. So then one night it was dark and I was going downstairs and on the stair landing, I touched this animal, so I jumped because you don't know, is it, what horrible animal is, and you're not allowed to kill anything, so in Australia, so anyway, so I scream and I jump and Tony comes running and I'm like, quickly put on the lights, there's something here, and I'm jumping, and as I jump it jumps at me, and it's so scary, and it was a balloon.
Well, Jenny, you're lucky there were no porcupines around, because otherwise that might have burst and then you'd have really had a hard time getting yourself together.
Gosh.
All right, let's get back to what is happening in South Africa, apart from in Jenny's head. Yeah. All right.
Well, there has been, this is really good news, team appointed by the Environmental Department who will advise the department on how the lion captive industry can be exited, So what, because there are a lot of people who've been saying, what are you going to do with all these lions? Do they all just get euthanized? What's going to happen? And so that's going to be pretty cool. And Dr. Louise Duval, who is amazing from Blood Lions, she's one of the directors there. She is on this advisory board, which makes me just feel so good because, she couldn't be a better person, more caring of the lions. So to find out how they're going to end all that.
Glad to hear that. Okay, and what's happening down in your old neck of the woods, down there in KZN?
A lot of things. What particularly? Oh, the Durban Botanic Gardens, the lights, the trail. Have you seen that? The Trail of Lights. Have you seen the photos on SA People that are just? Peter de Groot took them. So thanks to Peter, he sends us the best photos, and they've just done it so well because it's a mixture of traditional African. So it's all lit up, but it's like there's beadwork. And there's a rhino and an elephant and assegais and
shields.
Yeah? Shields, yeah. All lit up with Christmas lights. And then, of course, there's all the normal stuff, too, and the reindeer. Father Christmas on a motorbike, who's very, very cool.
Well, as long as they can keep the lights on, then Santa can actually find it, because everybody was saying, so what have you got planned for Christmas? And I'm like, well, my children gave me their Christmas list, and I said, there's no point, because Santa's not going to be able to find South Africa because we're all going to be in the dark and he won't have any lights to lead the way. So there we go with that. So that's my bar humbug. I'm trying very hard not to be the Christmas Grinch.
but Mel, it's happened several Christmases. I cannot tell you how many jokes we have that are recirculating about South Africa heading for Black Christmas, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And you always get through it, and it's always fun. And
it will be fun, I know. I'm going to have a lovely time. I've got a wonderful friend who's making these mini Christmas panettones, which I've just ordered, and I can't wait. Supporting little local industry. She's an amazing baker, and that's what she does for a living now, like home baking, but most incredible stuff. If anybody wants to get them, you can let me know. You can just get on to SA People and on Facebook and say, Mel, we need a number. I know that's just out there. All right, so also what's been happening sport-wise? We haven't really been talking about sports much. I just know that I saw some footage of the Sevens in Cape Town, and it looked like they were playing in a tropical cyclone.
Really? I just got so excited because they were going through, and then they got knocked out, unfortunately, which is always such a pity when you're in your home town. You just want to keep going, which kind of reminds me of Morocco. How's Morocco, the first African country that is through to the semi-finals of the...
Are you talking about soccer?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't follow soccer. You know that I do rugby because I like watching real men playing.
Huge at the moment. Did you not see Messi last night? Lionel Messi. No. It was like legendary stuff.
I can honestly say I have not even seen 1 second's worth of footage of any soccer since this whole thing started. Not 1 second. And I'm going to keep it that way. I believe it finishes this weekend, huh?
It does. And for anybody who is not Melanie, it is only 199 Rand to get Showmax Pro and be able to watch that, for the month. It's the cheapest.
That's not bad.
And it's, gosh, I cannot believe you don't want to watch. Tomorrow, it's France versus Morocco. No, it's tonight. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Well, at least our netball girls are doing better than our male soccer players from South Africa.
Oh, they're doing so well. Did you see they won gold at the Regions 5? And I think Sunil Smith did something incredible against Zambia in the finals. I think she scored like 63 out of 65 of their goals.
Wow.
She's a phenomenon. So she's like a Lionel Messi of South African netball.
Okay. Or the Lewis Hamilton of F1. All right, let's go. Seeing as hopefully we are entertaining you a little bit. Huh?
Aki Strydom, did you see how well he did in South Africa? So he's a South African golfer.
Okay.
And he just won his first DP World Tour title. And it was actually in South Africa, but his family were not there. But he said they would all have just been crying at home. He just knew it. And he was kind of quite tearful, thanking everyone and thanking his caddy. And they were playing at Leopard Creek Country Club, which is kind of near Kruger National Park. So, as he said, his first win could not have been at a more special place.
Oh.
Yeah.
By the way, I do watch some sport. It's just that it's towards the end of the year now. Everybody's getting their ducks in a row. So it's all podcasts and TV and movies and research and all of that. So I spend a lot of time watching not entirely entertaining stuff online, because some stuff I have to research is rather horrid. But I have been on my little bit of downtime when I do have power, kind of late at night. I'll have downloaded some stuff on Showmax because I've got the app, obviously, and I've got to have Showmax. So, of course, you and I are still sitting and waiting for Donkerbos, like for the episode 4, because I'm like loving it so much.
So you will be able to watch it this week.
Yes.
It comes out on Friday.
Yes.
You're going to have to keep me updated.
Yeah, no, I will make sure. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put it on my laptop, and then I will WhatsApp call you, and I'll put on a video call, and then you can watch it with me. How's that? It's just easier to get Showmax Pro, isn't it, really, if you're overseas?
Exactly. No,
yeah.
You can just get it on Showmax, not even Showmax Pro.
Yeah.
Just normal Showmax. And you get the first 2 weeks free, remember? What I was going to say as well that I think you and your girls will love is that there's a new show coming onto Showmax called Rassie.
Is it about Rassie Erasmus?
Yeah. It's 80 minutes, documentary.
Has to be 80 minutes because there's 80 minutes in a game of rugby.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize. Oh, gosh. So I suppose, 45. No, 45 and 45 makes 90. Is it 40?
It's 40 and 40, Jenny. Obviously, half of 80 is.
Okay. So Rassie is by the same makers of Chasing the Sun, which
was great. Yeah, we loved it.
Yeah, and it's from his childhood in Dispatch, and
of course he's an Eastern Cape boy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be really, really beautiful.
Okay, yeah, I like Rassie. I like his yes, it's a good thing. Okay, now, what are you going on here about Gus Silber? I saw his list of stuff that you should watch. So I think he said The Inside Man, which I did binge watch, which was really quite interesting. Yeah, it was really good.
I think he also put Donkerbos on his list.
Yeah, he put Donkerbos. I can't remember what else he had on the list, but it was like really worthwhile looking. So if you are on Facebook, go and check out Gus Silb. I mean, he's one of my favorite writers.
And
I've
it's
interviewed him a lot.
it's on SA People as well.
Is it also on SA People?
So lovely.
Okay.
I just said to him, he's just one of those South Africans who just brings joy to the country, to the world. He just, doesn't he? And even if he says anything slightly negative, which he never does, there's always a silver lining, something funny,
Yeah, no, he was from the heyday. Remember when we were speaking to AJ Venter the other day? It was Andre Vos, Rassie Erasmus, and AJ Venter. And then also Andre Venter. It was also one of, there was a moving around of those four people, I think in the Cheetahs in that year or something. So, I mean, yeah, I've been a huge fan of his ever since then. So, yeah, I will definitely give that a watch. The White Lotus, I did finish watching last night, and the first season, second season, I'm sitting and thinking, I'm never going to get those hours back.
Really?
I was not impressed by the last of it. It kind of like...
Yeah, don't give it away. For me, it grew on me as the series went. It's a bit hard when they're speaking Italian and I've got French subtitles, but I loved the last episode. I thought because it all ties so much together.
Okay. Well, we'll discuss that further. Actually, why don't people just let us know what they think? I think that's a good idea. Whether it was worthwhile watching or not. Another friend of mine also said the same thing. She did. Oh no. And by the way, I was hoping to be able to go and see the Mzansi Philharmonic Orchestra again, but I didn't want to say yes if I wasn't better. So it was one of those things that I've had to forego going to their next performance.
Evening. Oh, what a pity. Tomorrow evening in Joburg. So the 15th in Joburg, 17th in Durban, 21st Cape Town.
So get there and see it if you haven't already. Yeah. Definitely. Okay, so coming up on SA People next week, what is the big story? Obviously, I mean, the Christmas lights are going to be coming up. Are you going to be telling people where they can go and see them? I see there's a lot of houses in Joburg already that have got blow-up Santa Clauses riding on their rooftops, and there's a couple of houses that to go and see the Christmas lights at.
Yes. It's like Halloween has gone around the world, and now the Christmas light thingy is going around the world, which again brings so much joy. And there's a lovely family in Cape Town who are actually making news around the world for their Christmas lights at their house. So we're going to have news on that and an interview with them and photos.
What suburb are they in?
Fishhook.
Oh, Fishhook, the best place in Cape Town.
Yeah, and they raise money for charities in Cape Town. So they do it to bring joy. They're a real feel-good couple. And then another story that we've got is Gaynor Young.
Oh, I saw Kate Normington's thing that she posted that Gaynor wrote.
Oh, did Kate post it as well?
Yes. That's where I saw it, yeah. And of course, we talked to Kate Normington a couple of weeks ago. And I mean, it's one of those stories that I sat there and you feel like your heart is actually, my heart druk 'n punt. It was, oh my goodness me.
Yeah, so we'll have that full story for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about. We've got the full story on SA People. Gaynor was actually written for us and shared her stuff over the years. She's a remarkable human being, and I just love, because until I read Gaynor's thing now on the 33-year anniversary since her entire life kind of ended and restarted in a new way, I didn't realize that her and Kate were still friends, and I love that.
But most of the people in the entertainment industry are still friends. I mean, look at, the people like Fiona Ramsey still being friends with Richard E. Grant. But
Melanie, what I mean is that Gaynor's life is drastically different. She doesn't really leave home much.
But it's still the friends, the entertainment industry, everybody rallies around because I think that the entertainment industry in South Africa is one of the most downtrodden. And especially if we're looking back to the good old days, like in the 80s, when they were making all of these amazing things on television that we all loved. And I'm so happy that so many people are starting to make South African stories that are relevant to everybody now again. There's never been that much in the way of help from big organizations and government and stuff for artists. And we're talking about musicians, we're talking about actors, we're talking about stage people, theatre, everything. You know, it's always been up to the people in the community to actually look after their own. So that's why everybody has stayed in touch with Gaynor. And I mean, I know a lot of people. I think Rosie Fiore-Burtz, who now lives in London, an author, she's also in touch. I mean, everybody has stayed very much in touch wherever they are in the world, which is great. So that's what I want people in South Africa to do this festive season, is to actually get in touch. We were talking about, the older people. Put together something for somebody you don't know. There's a whole bunch of different organizations who are looking for people to donate stuff for older people, not just for kids, okay? They've had the toy run already, but just to do something for somebody else, whatever it is that you can do, just to create a connection between you and other people at this time of the year. We can actually do away with all this hatred and this horribleness and everything if we all come together and we actually just be kind. That's pretty much what that's my Christmas wish, is that everybody can just be kind.
Beautiful.
All right. And, of course, if you have any really good, kind stories to share, you can share them with Jenny Baxter, SA People, on Facebook, or send her an email. You'll find it on sapeople.com online, of course. And Jenny will catch up with you again next week. Stay inside, stay warm. It's not that cold here, thank goodness, but at least, I have to take my umbrella with me wherever I go. My house is flooding. My nose is flooding, but I'm safe. I'm not anywhere near the floods, which is fine.
I'm so glad, Mel. And you look so Christmassy with all that red behind you.
It's all the pink. You should see the other side, my darling. I'm in the pink. That's the way to go. I'm mirroring you today. We're in the pink. Have a lovely week until we chat again, Jenny. Thank you very much. Goodbye, and thanks for listening.